Okay. That was a long-winded intro of Tyler and Anthony just absolutely beating my ass. Did it feel good to punch me? Oh, still going. God damn it. Oh, wait. Can I hear you?
I don't know. Can you?
Anthony, talk.
Devo.
Oh, yeah. You touched the wrong mic, Tyler. Maybe I got it wrong. I don't know.
Wait,
Anyways,
so I'm good.
Here we are. It's episode 15. We're going live streaming again every Thursday, 7 p.m. It's a wonderful time.
Be there, be square.
Be there, be square, you little idiot. Do that. We got an interesting show today. We're talking about quarterbacks. This is what we've been doing this week, is doing quarterbacks. We're going to go through their rankings from last year, from 2019, and establish whether or not they're going to repeat or deplete from those rankings from the previous year. It's based on standard scoring. Good thing I wrote that in the description correctly. All those quarterbacks that we're going to talk about today are within the description down below. You should be able to see it there. If not, it's there. I know it's there. Anyways, if you want to send us any chats, any questions or comments during this episode, you can go ahead and do that. And if you're listening to this in the future and it's not live, just know that every Thursday we go live on Twitch, on Periscope, which is basically Twitter, and on YouTube. So you can go and comment any place there, and we'll get back to you. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you haven't already. I just got to get all these things out of the way, let you guys all know before we get really into it. Yeah. Oh, here. Oh, my bad.
Oh, dude, I got muted.
Yeah, well, cause someone hit the wrong mic. I don't know.
Dude, I got like a counter UAV'd on my mic over here.
So I'm Michael Marcanio. That's Tyler Revelis.
Your boy T.
Your boy T. And we got Tony Tones.
Hey, Tony Tones.
Anthony loves being called Tony.
AKA Mr. 645.
Mr. 645 in the building.
Hey, call me Tony again and die.
Oh, dude, that actually felt a little threatening. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add before we start going?
No, just subscribe. Takes 2 seconds, helps us out. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Mucho.
Cha. All right. Should we? Let's get into it, eh?
Yeah. What are we doing today, Mike?
We're doing one of my favorite things.
This is Mike's favorite segment.
Well, partially because I came up with it, but also.
To quote someone I know, quarterback's the most important position on the field.
It's time to repeat or deplete.
I like it.
We got any news today? I didn't actually check my phone once. Do you guys see anything?
No, not too much.
No.
Nothing today.
Carlos Hyde is still not signed with the Eagles, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Why you keep seeing things about Carlos Hyde?
No, I just I read that like a couple of days ago, so I'm like, you better not.
Oh, it's a fuck up Miles Sanders.
You better not.
Oh yeah, Carlos Hyde. No, I don't think he's going to. All right. Well, we're doing repeat or deplete. Like I said, standard scoring, quarterbacks. They're all listed below. We're gonna go one by one, and we're gonna go through and see whether or not you guys think these quarterbacks are going to repeat or deplete.
And standard scoring is just for people who aren't sure. It's 4 points per passing touchdown, 25 passing yards per point, and then 6 points per rushing touchdown.
Yeah. So if
I got that right. I blacked out.
So if you're like, my stat says that this quarterback isn't number 2, it says he's number 5. Well, check the scoring fucking setting, dude, and it's probably a little bit different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get better.
God
Yeah,
damn it.
the quarterback scoring for most leagues is probably the craziest. Outside of a defense, I think, is probably the most wide range of like scoring outcomes for quarterbacks.
Yeah, I don't get some defensive scorings.
Yeah, some of the defensive scorings are just, I don't know, they're wild, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, want to start with the first one?
Let's do it.
Hey, all right, we got our boy. Oh wait, where's it?
Hey, I can watch myself.
Deshaun
Watson.
Watson. Sorry, I had to put all these things in there. Deshaun Watson finished QB number 4 last year. Actually got the fucking highlights up this time. What do you guys think? Repeat or deplete?
I mean, one thing I can say is he's finished QB4 back-to-back years, so that's a good trend. But I would say with no DeAndre Hopkins, I'm going to have to go on the deplete end of this one.
Deplete.
I didn't get to hit the buzzer. Tyler hit it first.
Yeah. We should get a buzzer.
We should get a buzzer.
We really need to.
We'll just hit Mike in the head.
I was thinking about just getting a numpad that will connect to his laptop, and it will just I'll just hotkey some audios in there. Does that make sense? No.
Yeah.
I just realized I'm like saying that. Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
No, I don't. I'm gonna go deplete. I think QB4 is like his ceiling this season. I think QB4 is his ceiling. So if everything goes right, I think that's what her finish. But I don't think everything's gonna go right. So deplete.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brandon Cooks is a downgrade from DeAndre Hopkins. You know.
I mean, most people would say that, but
you don't think so?
Well, let's just say that.
No, I think so.
Let's just say this though. So obviously, Brandon Cooks is a downgrade from DeAndre Hopkins. But I mean, prior to last year, Brandon Cooks was getting 1,000 yards every single year and in multiple systems with multiple quarterbacks. So obviously, he could get it done. You know, former Biletnikoff winner. I just like saying that word, Biletnikoff.
I was like, I feel like you like that word.
Yeah, kind of like when you said load management.
I forgot about that. You reminded me. Yeah, that's why I like you.
But one thing I can say is, so you got Cooks and you got Will Fuller, and then you got Kenny Stills now, the receivers there. Obviously, Will Fuller can't seem to stay healthy. If Will Fuller gets hurt week 4 or 5 or whatever, are you more hyped on Brandon Cooks then because he's kind of like the de facto one over there now? You know, your stuff Stills there, but
I mean, he could get hurt week 1. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
All jokes aside. I got to see. I don't know. What's Cook's ADP? You want to pull it up, Mike?
Yeah,
to your point, like you said, he's been a good receiver in multiple systems. You know, Deshaun Watson is a talented quarterback. I mean, off head without really. I haven't statted the Texans out. I've started to stat teams out and like players out.
Yeah.
Not sure, but off head, I'm probably thinking 5th round, maybe 6th is where I'd be okay grabbing him.
I'll take a shot on Brandon Cooks. I know we're kind of sidetracking Deshaun Watson here, but obviously, you know, these receivers, if they can stay healthy and get open, it's obviously going to help correlate to Deshaun Watson's production. Yeah,
I think, I mean, with him, he was tied to Drew Brees the 1 year. He was tied to Jared Goff, had that 1 year where he threw for, that was like, he had a big year the 2 years prior.
Yeah.
Who else was he with?
Brady.
And Brady, yeah. I mean, these are quarterbacks that are routinely throwing for, 4,000 plus yards. Whereas I think Deshaun Watson's gotten over 4, but I'm not sure if
he hasn't topped 4,200 yards.
Okay.
Wait, did you ask Brandon Cooks' ADP?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's 79, so it's about 6.5
round, roughly.
Yeah.
I don't mind that spot.
I'll take a shot on Brandon Cooks in the 6th round right there. I would like to think that he'll at least eclipse 1,000 yards here. But like you said, when you're losing the caliber of a DeAndre Hopkins and you acquire a guy like David Johnson, obviously they kind of probably want to lean on the run game a little bit more. I mean, just like I know Dre said last episode that I think Deshaun got sacked more than anyone last year. And I mean, it's your franchise quarterback who, has some sort of an injury history in the past, a couple ACL tears and whatnot. So, I mean, you want to try to protect him. They obviously signed Laramie Tunsil to the highest offensive line deal in the NFL history. So maybe they want to lean a little bit more on the run game and these short intermediate passes to maybe David Johnson out of the backfield, just kind of lessen the workload for Deshaun Watson. You want to jump into the next guy, Mike?
Yeah, that's cool with me. Give me a second.
Sorry, my laptop's down. I gotta use my phone for stuff.
We got Kirk Cousins. Let me change his ranking.
I was like, QB4?
No,
I don't remember that.
No. I just have to do it. There's no good way to fucking do this. Sorry, I'm making up excuses over here.
No, you're good, baby girl.
Thanks, Dad. We got Kirk Cousins comes in. He is quarterback number 15 in 2019, which is actually somewhat higher than. I guess that's never mind. 15 is pretty That's pretty normal. Anyways, repeat or deplete. Quarterback 15 on the year. Do you think he will do better or worse?
I mean, this is a tough call because it's like Kirk Cousins has been relatively healthy for. I'm looking at it 5 years now, 6. So it's like he's one of those quarterbacks. I don't think he's going to miss games. I don't think you're going to want to start him all that often. But does he finish better than quarterback 15 or at quarterback 15? I mean, I guess.
I mean, he has the ability to pop. I mean, we just did a top 12, our early top 12 rankings, and we didn't. I don't think we even talked about Kirk Cousins, but
he's one of those guys where I want to draft him at like spot 23, maybe 24. But like when it comes to trying to rank him, like I might actually rank him at like 17, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like where I'm going to want to take him is either not take him or like take him, like I said, quarterback 24, like if I was a QB2 quarterback league. But where I'll rank him will be a little bit different. But I'm going to go Deplete. I think Jefferson's a talented guy, but you don't just make up Stephon Diggs' production and one receiver that basically is all that came in to replace him. And, this is going to be a, Dalvin Cook play defense type of offense. So in his touchdown percentage last year was 5.9%, which was the highest of his career minus his rookie year, which wasn't a full year. So that touchdown percentage comes down a little bit. You're looking at probably a QB in the where I said I'd probably draft him 23, 24.
For sure. Just got a mushroom right here. For me, I'm going to go repeat. I know Kirk Cousins, he started off last year terrible. But if you picked him up like week 4 or 5, he went on that crazy stretch of where I think he had like 20-plus points in 4 or 5 straight games. And even after that, he was like a solid matchup guy down the stretch. He's not like a QB1, but I think he's one of those guys where you hear me say it every time. You can draft 2 quarterbacks and you play the matchups. I think he's a good like 1-2 punch kind of quarterback you can just grab and then play the matchups. I mean, only threw for 3,600 yards last year, which is, that's not a lot at all. And especially, with some of the games that he had, and you think of like the NFL being such an air raid offense nowadays as well. Only 26 touchdowns, but Diggs wasn't the greatest receiver last year. You had Thielen, who was hurt for a majority of the time. I think if you can have a full season of Thielen, you get a young Justin Jefferson, and then obviously, Dalvin Cook was highly utilized out of the backfield. You see right here, perfect timing on the highlight. You just throw him a little screen pass, and he could take it 40, 50 yards down the field for you. So I think that's a baseline, 3,626 touchdowns. I think he could do that again, so I'll say repeat.
Yeah, he's got to throw more than 445 times. Otherwise, I don't even want to touch him.
Yeah, only 44 times last year.
So you guys both say repeat?
No, I'm saying
he said deplete. I'll say repeat.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's QB 15. Not QB 12.
Yeah, if that doesn't come up, I bet my left nut that he doesn't throw for 5.9% touchdown rate.
And he likes his nuts.
Yeah, I could afford to lose one. Maybe I'm trying to lose one.
Yeah, you only need one. You got some big ass ones. All right, going to the next one.
Next one.
Okay, we are going into the next one. We got Tom Brady.
Tom fucking Brady, bro.
Brady.
I was going like QB 31.
Tom Brady finished. Ironically,
Wait, have you been answering these, by the way?
What? No, I haven't.
Okay,
why not, dude?
Okay, Kirk Cousins. I would say repeat. I think he could. I think he has the ability to finish top 12. I think the problem you run into with Kirk Cousins is that I can't imagine a season where he becomes like top 5 quarterback. So it's like he doesn't have the ultimate ceiling that some of these other guys you could see possibly going there. So
yeah, I mean, for him to be top 12, the Vikings are going to have to suck.
But I could say repeat. You mean they'll be chasing games? Because
they're going to have to be chasing.
Yeah.
Because if they're winning and they're playing this type of football ground and pound, he's not going to be a top 12. But, I mean, if they struggle and they're going to be behind and throwing, then that's where, like you said, because we've seen Kirk Cousins have big years in the past.
Yeah.
So
big years.
A couple big games last year, throughout the season.
For sure. All right. Well, let's talk about Tom Brady. Finished, ironically enough, as QB number 12.
TB12.
TB12. I don't know if that was...
Wasn't he our consensus 12?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
You know what they say? If you see TB12 3 times...
He shows up in your
like
the back of your
he accidentally shows up in your house looking for...
He shows up in your live stream in the comments.
Yeah,
he shows up in your house trying to kiss your children on the mouth.
No, not Timmy.
All right, TB12. I'll go repeat plus. I mean, the numbers right here weren't anything crazy. Only 4,000 yards, 24 touchdowns. So nothing that was like crazy. Like, oh my God, he had this crazy year. And he still finished quarterback 12. And I think we touched on it when we kind of broke down our early top 12 rankings, how this is arguably the best weapons he's had. You got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Gronk comes out of retirement. You got O.J. Howard. And then, they draft the running back, Keyshawn Vaughn. We'll see how good he is or not. But obviously that's like going to be their guy. And in the Arians system, could he be utilized how James White was in the New England Patriots system? Possibly. So, yeah, I'm going to go repeat plus on this one.
Repeat. Yeah, I would say repeat as well. I just think that they're like, if you can't be top 12 with all these weapons, like go home. You're drunk. Go home. Kiss your kids or something.
Yeah, I'm going to go repeat plus. I think I had him the highest at anybody, and I might slide him up another spot or two.
Interesting. Where do you have? Where did you have him in your
At
rankings?
10.
10.
Yeah.
You put him at 7. Maybe not that high. I don't know.
Yeah, I might drop Deshaun Watson down eventually. But by season comes, it wouldn't surprise me if I had Brady at like 8 or 7. To be honest.
Yeah.
There's still a lot. There's like months and months of research. Reading the off-season reports. If we get a training camp, that's going to change things. So, I mean, if you go out there and you see him gelling with Chris Godwin, and it's just the weapons he has is insane.
And the Arians' vertical passing attack is the offense like he's never played in before compared to New England.
After we talked about this, I read a report on how he was basically Arians was like, Brady's like, hey, like, what do you want to do? It's like basically it's Arians' system, and Brady's like, giving his like opinions on it. But this is Arians' vertical system, just an insane amount of receiving weapons. It's just, I kind of think if he's not washed up, which is a possibility, I don't see anywhere under 4,200 yards and 25 touchdowns. I think that's a baseline.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me. I think he actually, for the first time in a long time, has top 5 upside.
Yeah.
Based off of like just having the weapons, touchdown total upside, yardage total, and that's the first time I'd be able to say that in a while with Brady. So, yeah, Brady.
Damn fucking Brady.
Damn fucking Brady. Damn Brady. Hold on, sorry. You know who we're talking about next?
I don't.
Kirk Cousins?
It's not Kirk Cousins.
QB20, right? Tim?
Oh, did I accidentally hit that? Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh, the Bake Show. Baker Mayfield.
That's your favorite, right?
I think I'm the residential Baker Mayfield guy.
You really are.
Yeah.
And as a Steelers fan, it's like, come on, bro.
Guy.
Yeah.
Because we don't know where it will end.
So Baker Mayfield finished in 2019 as the QB number 20.
Should I start reading their stat lines from 20? Or you want to read their stat lines from the year before?
If you have them, that would be good.
Yeah, I could throw it in.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Finish what you were going to say first.
No, I was just going to say, Baker's kind of interesting because last year, people were drafting him in the same spot as Deshaun Watson, as an Aaron Rodgers after his rookie season. So a lot of people like QB20 isn't great, but a lot of people like you might look at that and you might think, he didn't do that bad. But no, dude. People were drafting him as a QB3.
I feel like at some point the hype on him was like Kyler Murray this year. Like there were some times where I saw him like in mocks or like
worse
or cheat sheets. I mean, Kyler Murray I've seen is like 4, 3, 5. He's pretty high up there. That's what I'm saying. I've seen that's where Baker's like hype was like up to last year. It was like QB like 4, 5, 3 in that range.
I think Kyler Murray's hype is a little bit more justified though. I mean, we'll talk about him later.
OBJ, but DeAndre Hopkins, you got Landry, you got Fitzgerald. I feel like it's kind of a similar situation.
Sure. Yeah.
First round picks, pretty good rookie year. We don't know what's gonna happen the second year. We saw what happened the second year.
But I think that Kyler has the rushing upside. But
I think you're just Cardinals homer.
No.
I agree with you. I'm just fucking with you a little bit. I don't know. You made me forget what I was saying.
My bad. No, you're gonna.
But last year, I'll just go over stats: 3,725 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 22 touchdowns, 21 interceptions.
Just giving Jameis Winston a run for his money right there.
Yeah, he was. I'm gonna go repeat or repeat plus.
Yeah, I think you have to go give him.
It wouldn't surprise me if he
kind of
depleted.
easy one.
Yeah. I mean, this Stefanski system is going to be more of a run-heavy system. This might be Kirk Cousins-esque. Like we just talked about, his numbers only 445 passing attempts. It wouldn't surprise me if you saw Baker go for 500 passing attempts, and they're trying to win with the 1-2 punch of Hunt. We've stated multiple times how they've addressed the offensive line, and you don't watch if he's Jameis Winston like the last thing you want is him throwing it 600 times and throwing for X amount of picks. So. While I do like him, I do have my concerns. So I'm gonna go repeat plus. But would it surprise me if he finished around the same? No, it wouldn't. Yeah. I think he's got a lot of variance. Like there's a wide floor to ceiling with him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go repeat plus. I do like Baker. I think they had like this dream team scenario last year. Obviously, Heisman winner, first round draft pick, breaks the rookie record for touchdown passes. The guy's head is just humongous, thinking how good he is, and he's making more commercials than he is really focusing on the practice and football field. So I think he had like a little piece of humble pie, kind of brought him back down to earth. I mean, he's got weapons, arguably. Odell, Landry, they go get Hooper. They exercise the 5th-year option on Njoku. You get a full year with Kareem Hunt, who was actually utilized a ton out of the backfield. A lot of targets for Kareem Hunt in those few games he was there with the Browns. And then Nick Chubb, obviously, good running attack, which should just open up the things for play action down the field for guys like Odell, Hooper, and Landry. You go out and address the line, which I felt like really hurt him because there's a lot of times where he was, running around like a chicken with his head cut off. He just, happy feet is what they called him. He would just hike the ball and he started scrambling immediately, not really going through his progressions. But, they go out and they get the left tackle from Alabama, Jedrick Wills, and then they go out and get Jack Conklin from the Titans in free agency. So I think he really boosts this offensive line. 3rd year in the NFL, and I think he kind of comes back down to earth, and he's got to really go out there and prove it to himself. Nothing's going to be given to him. And I think this is kind of like his baseline. This is like his floor, I think, last year. Obviously, the interceptions are pretty bad. 21 last year. I think 14 his rookie year. So he's got to clean that up. But, I mean, if he could throw for like 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns, we saw that's not really that impressive. That's at least QB 15 range. So I think that's probably where he'll fit around there. So you have to say repeat plus.
Repeat plus from your boy T.
Mike.
Yeah.
What's yours?
I would say repeat. I think you could get QB 20 again.
At QB 20?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm smelling a Johnny Manziel vibes over here.
The piece of shit.
Like off topic, you see that video of Johnny Manziel? He's on the cliff and he's trying to
he misstepped and
he's trying to he's trying to do like a backflip off the cliff, but when he goes to push off, he totally misses the cliff and he falls off the cliff. And it's like he just eats shit. And it's he could have gotten hurt for really bad.
He tried to put
in the water or
as water.
Yeah, he's like cliff jumping. He's like 20, 30 feet in the air, and he tries to turn around and jump off the cliff. But as he goes to jump, his one leg slips underneath him, so he just falls off the cliff.
Bro,
back flops.
Yeah,
he went to put his back foot down, but then he didn't. He misjudged where the end of the cliff was, so he just pushed right into the air. And luckily, his left foot he springed off. It's kind of sketchy.
Yeah, he could have got fucked up, but
yeah.
I don't know.
All right, let's go into.
Was it last year or this year where he was they were like, hey, we think you should get a quarterback's coach and see some help, and he's like, nah, I'm good.
No,
it's probably before last year, if I had to guess.
I think it might have been last year.
Or I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, so I might be smelling. Maybe he's just a piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't. He seems
2.0.
Yeah, 2.0.
Yeah.
Same division. Won't surprise me.
The dude Colin Coward from Fox Sports thinks so. Anyways, let's go on to our next one. We got Aaron Rodgers.
Discount double check.
Dude,
Hey, Rodgers.
that mustache though.
Dude, you guys almost look like you're related.
What, me and Aaron Rodgers?
You kind of
Yeah.
do.
Really?
Like you're his.
Yeah, dude, you want to put Rodgers up there?
Yours-
Yeah,
yours
sorry.
Cody
It's because
J.
I have the fucking. It's because when I'm typing in the thing.
Dude, yeah. Is that your dad,
I
dude?
have the hotkey.
Dad? Bro, look at that. The resemblance is...
Cunning. It's what is
Especially
it?
from
Cunning.
this,
Is
the
that
size of your, dude? Even the size of your heads are.
It's
very similar.
uncanny.
Yeah, it's
That's the
uncanny.
word I was
There you go.
looking for. I mean, he does have a pretty sweet mustache. What if he just? That's how we analyze these guys. Quarterback 9 on the year. I mean, as much as people are dogging on Aaron Rodgers this
It's just
upcoming
me
year,
dogging on him.
maybe that's what it is. But I feel like a lot of
you-
people
you
just
hear
with
me
the.
laugh.
I feel like the Green Bay Packers are dogging on him.
That is true. Valid
what I
point,
mean?
Turbo. McTugger tits.
Tugger tits. That's hot. Yeah. So.
All right, well, I'll go first. I'll say Deplete, and I'm kind of jumping on this bandwagon with Anthony. Finishes as QB 9. They did nothing in the draft to address him. They actually drafted his future replacement, which is like a slap in the face. Like, hey, we're not going to get you any receivers help. We're just going to go draft a replacement. But finishes QB 9, and that was with guys like Drew Brees, who finished as QB 21, who was hurt for a while. So you think he's got to make the jump up there. Stafford, who through the first 8 games was on pace to be a top 5 quarterback. You got to think he kind of, if he stays healthy with that offense, could make that jump to the top 10 potentially. Even my boy Ryan Tannehill, I was joking around, but those, 7-9 weeks or whatever it could be, he was a top 5 quarterback during that stretch. So, yeah, I'm going to say Deplete right here. I think Rodgers finishes maybe between the 12 to 15 range, give or take.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Deplete.
Could we all say Deplete right now?
Could we? It's so crazy. It's like Aaron Rodgers.
It's
Deplete.
Aaron
But hey,
Rodgers.
shit changes.
Because the times they are
I almost want to say
changing.
Deplete confidently. I feel like at this point his ceiling's like QB
10.
7, 8.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, we did the numbers last year, and it was like minus that one game where he came out and he had like 4 touchdowns,
he likes-
400 yards or something like
He
that.
like skull fuck the Giants straight up.
Yeah, but outside of that game, he was averaging, I want to say it was like 14 points per game, and that was less than guys like Josh Allen.
Like
and
the-
even like that was like a Gardner Minshew like baseline last year, 14 points. That's what he was averaging. If you were to take that monster game out,
I think
of
that
his
one
points.
game raised his points per game by like 3 points.
Yeah.
that's a lot.
For sure, yeah.
It doesn't sound like a lot for fantasy football, but it's a lot. Trust me.
Yeah. You're saying Deplete too over there, Mike, or what?
yeah, I'm going to say Deplete.
It's just tough, like you said. And, Anthony's been kind of mentioning it. Like maybe they are just kind of leaning more towards like running the ball. I mean, they go out and they drafted the 3rd running back. I mean, for what reason? I mean, I don't know if they just don't want to pay Aaron Jones after the end of this year, so they're like, let's go get a guy, or maybe they don't trust his injury history. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, they did 0 things in the draft, and even I mean, outside of Devin Funchess in free agency, which is, I mean, who knows what Funchess is going to bring to the table. Outside of that, they did nothing to help Aaron Rodgers succeed.
And I mean, even if let's just say the Packers are a struggling team this year, it's like I'm not even that optimistic if they are throwing more this year than anticipated, because I just like the weapons one, and then what I saw out of Rodgers last year wasn't.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like it's been a year and a half since I've seen like any kind of like the old Rodgers to me.
For sure, yeah. We jump into the next guy.
Yeah, let's go into.
Wait, Mike, did you officially say Deplete?
Yeah, I said Deplete. So we got Jared Goff. He is at QB 13 in 2019. What do you guys think?
Mr. Jared Goff.
Jared Goff. He's
Yeah.
someone that we haven't really been talking about a lot.
Yeah. I mean, he had that good year 2 years ago. Last year kind of fell off. I don't know if it was the Super Bowl hangover, but I mean, still threw for 4,600 yards, 22 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. So the touchdowns weren't really there, but you like seeing 4,600 yards. I mean, they do lose Brandon Cooks, but we've kind of seen how Cooper Kupp is. I want to say like him and Robert Woods are kind of the 1A, 1B in that system. We saw a little emergence of Tyler Higbee finally coming through outside of Gerald Everett over there. But, I mean, back-to-back years where he's thrown for 4,600 plus yards. So I'm just going to stay with the trend. I mean, the completion percentage is right there, 63%. So it's not like crazy for 3 years in a row. So it's, he's not jumping all over the place. I mean, I think he can throw for another 4,500 yards. And then if he can get to like 25, 30 touchdowns, I'll say repeat. I think the baseline is like right there, like 10 to 13 range.
Yeah, he's like he's right there in like my actual rankings.
He's an interesting one just for the fact that like they're notorious for not being he's notorious for not being able to recover when they're losing. They're like once they start losing, Jared Goff kind of falls apart. He's not like really a comeback kind of quarterback. So I just say so you won't get those extra like garbage time points from him. So quarterback 13. You say repeat, Tyler?
I'll say repeat. Yeah, I think he finishes right there. Like 13. I think I said 10 to 13 range. But like, yeah, give or take like right there. 13, 14, 15, something like that. I'm sounding like Andre right now. 10, 15, 12, maybe 2.
36.
So maybe
I'm gonna say
not really.
Deplete. I'm just gonna go on a woman. I would say I'm gonna say Deplete. I think they lost a couple weapons. I think people are starting to figure out the Rams offense. Rams really haven't done a lot of, like obviously they did pretty decent in the draft, but they haven't replaced a lot of guys. Yeah, so I'm gonna say Deplete. What do you say, Anthony?
I'm gonna go like Deplete -1.
That's Deplete.
It's technically a Deplete. Yeah, to Tyler's point, I mean, the yardage have been their year the last 2 years. Only a 3.6% touchdown percentage, which is extremely low. If you throw the ball 625 times again, which I don't know, I think that the Rams might be a team that are in a lot more shootouts. There was a point where it was like Gurley, and then it was like that defense where they had like seemed like every big name they had in the defense where they're not there anymore. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I think he throws for a few more touchdowns. The yardage might be roughly the same. So with that said, he doesn't rush the ball at all. So that's where it's, he doesn't give you that extra bonus. But He definitely had some huge games. I was looking at some games where he had 424 yards, 2 touchdowns, 517 yards, 2 touchdowns, 395, 2. So I'm going to go barely Deplete. Barely.
He actually had some crazy road home splits.
Yeah, he does. He's like one of those guys
like
where
a Big Ben kind of esque home road splits. But we'll see. Maybe the new stadium kind of sparks it. Maybe that's even better for his home splits at least. You know, you're playing in a brand new stadium.
yeah, with no fans
down
to
there.
rattle.
Yeah.
That's just a good point. You think about that.
That is one thing that's like, well, go ahead.
Like if like there's no fans, are guys gonna be as like rattled with shit, or is it just gonna be like during an exhibition game kind of?
No,
feel?
I mean, dude. So like, it's weird because we keep, like, I always feel like this thing's about to be over, this whole quarantine. But like, they keep talking about that during the NFL season that they're gonna do like, you know, not real fans in the stadiums and stuff.
Yeah. What if
So
they
it's
just have
like-
cardboard cutouts?
Well, they're saying that they're gonna like CGI people in. There's like reports saying that. There's rumors and reports saying that. Apparently, the idea is that they're gonna CGI people in and they're gonna pump in fake crowd noise.
Really?
Yeah. So like when the camera pans, and I'm like, dude, we're literally going into a simulation. This
Yeah.
is literally the beginning.
I feel like that's a movie where it's just fake crowd. Like you wake up in the night,
That's so
and you're like,
weird.
what's going on? Everyone's fake.
Dude, it's super weird. I don't know.
That's trippy. I didn't hear that yet, but that's trippy.
Yeah, they've started talking about it. There's rumors and alleged reports, whatever it is. But let's move into next guy here. We got Matt Ryan. And where's Matt Ryan at? You want to guess?
QB.
Okay, there it
I was
is.
like, I remember from the last episode.
Number 11.
So this year, since he finished outside the top 10, he's QB2. That's how it works.
That's how it works. Yeah. His
No, I'm just kidding.
all over the place.
Joking. I'm going to actually go deeply on Matt Ryan.
Quarterback 11. You don't like it?
I just think there's more quarterbacks I like more. And it's with there's more quarterbacks that offer more rushing potential. There's more quarterbacks that offer. I mean, I think off head, his biggest touchdown season was that one season where he threw for like 38. But outside of that, I mean, you've seen touchdown totals as low as 20, as low as like in the low 20s. I think his defense is going to be better, to be honest. And I think that's the kind of reason I'm kind of a little hesitant on to put Matt Ryan in my top 12. So I'm going to go Deplete.
Yeah, like Anthony was joking, saying that, you know, when he did decent, so he should fall off the cliff. But I mean, yeah, his last couple quarterback finishes, QB 11, then 2, 15, 2, 19, 7, 15, 7, 8, and 8. I mean, just some positives at least. You know, 9 straight years with 4,000 or more passing yards, and in 7 of those 9 years, 25 or more passing touchdowns. I'll just take the average of all those numbers, you know, minus a couple big ones, and I'll say just repeat. I think he finishes like right there in that range, like 11, 12, 13. Because I mean, like I said, you know what you're going to get basically. 4,000 yards. You know, this defense isn't the greatest. You know, I know they keep suffering a couple injuries every year with some of their better star players on defense, but you know, this is like an offense where I feel like it's a, you know, vertical passing attack. You get Gurley, you know, kind of just help as well. You get a couple linemen as well for them. You know, they were out for last year, so you get those guys back. Should only help the offense. You know, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Hayden Hurst. So he's got weapons to get the ball around. So I'm just going to say repeat in that baseline right there.
Yeah,
It's a mild Deplete, by the way. It's like 13.
It is close. Like we said it when we did the rankings. Like I felt like there was like a consensus like top 8 guys, but then after that, like 9 through 12, I feel like, you know, not even just 9 through 12. It was just like 9 through, you could say 15, 16 range. Like the gap between those guys could be so minimal. It could be like maybe a couple passing touchdowns. You know, maybe one guy has like a crazy 5 touchdown game, you know, and that kind of just puts him over the edge. Or I feel like that 9 to 15 range is going to be such a tight knit group of like, you know, how are you really going to rank it? Because they're all going to be like right next to each other.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna say repeat plus or repeat with you, Tyler. I feel like you don't because what you're just gonna say he's gonna get that exact ranking again. I feel like you don't have to say plus, but anyways,
You could.
I'm gonna say repeat.
I mean, I had him ranked at 11.
I'm gonna say repeat. Ranking quarterback 11. I repeat.
Yeah,
You idiot.
I'm doing this a little bit more than ranking. It's like a little bit more. I'm putting some of where I would actually take
more
him
in
into.
depth.
Yeah.
Got you. All right.
Because I'd probably take him at I would take someone like probably a more upside guy in the same range. So I'm kind of playing that game a little bit. It's
He's
like I'm staying true to my rankings, but I'm also like deviating a little bit because this is like a different segment.
He's one of those guys where, like I said, I feel like maybe I like Matt Ryan so much is because I always usually get a lot of shares of Matt Ryan when I'm doing my drafts. But it's because I keep saying it, but I do that strategy where I'll draft 2 quarterbacks. So Matt Ryan's usually a guy who I'll take because he has crazy home games where he's playing at home. A lot of those games sometimes with the Saints are shootouts. So
he's got Julio.
Yeah, he's got Julio. So I'll take a Matt Ryan and then I'll take another guy a couple rounds later. For instance, 1 year I had him and Big Ben, and that was the year Big Ben blew up when he had 5,000 yards, and I just I matchup based those guys the whole year, and it was smooth sailing the whole way. And sometimes I feel like if you do that, I know there's a crazy stat you might remember it, Anthony, but it was like if you were to match up the quarterbacks, if I'm wording this right, you couldn't match up base these quarterbacks, and they would have been like QB 8 or something like that. Or like if you played a certain quarterback against a certain team every single week, like that quarterback would have been like QB 5 compared to just playing like your regular quarterback.
There was like
there's a crazy stat like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was something like that where like if you played like
it's it's like that I remember that stat, and it's based off of like the high it's not based off of. It's just based off of basically who's available, like on the waiver wire, like the best available waiver wire each week.
I mean,
if
you have one solid quarterback, like let's say you have Matt Ryan and you play the waiver wire, you're probably going to finish. Matt Ryan, let's just say finishes 11, but you use some of these other guys, you're probably finish QB 5, QB 6 if you pick the good matchups with it.
Yeah,
like you have potential to do that, is what I'm saying.
For sure.
Because then you can cut out those low games where Matt Ryan's having a bad game, but you could maximize, like let's just say 1 week you stream someone like Daniel Jones and he goes out and has 4 touchdowns, and then a couple weeks later you stream Gardner Minshew who has a big game, Matt Ryan has a big game. Now instead of being actual QB 11, you're actually like you take your points per game and you're QB 7, 6, 5. So
with those guys combined, yeah, for sure. That's a good that might be a good 1-2 combo right there. Danny Dimes and Matty Ice.
Yeah,
just sounds nice. Oh, I rhymed.
Icy Dimes.
All right, jumping to the next guy right here. Who do we got? QB number 6?
Yep.
Ooh, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, the myth, the man, the legend. I actually did I was messing around last night and I did a mock draft, and Josh Allen went like hella early.
Like 4th round?
Yeah,
there's
like
some surprising stuff.
3rd or 4th round. Yeah, it was really interesting to do a mock draft this early. I don't normally do it this early. Every once in a while, but yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. And by the way, really quick, that I told Tyler this today because we don't have him on our list, but guess who's the only quarterback to have 3 500-yard games?
Like last season?
In history.
Big Ben?
It's Ben Roethlisberger.
Of course. He's only going to come up with a stat if it's a homer stat.
I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying. Tom Brady
I'm
only
in my
has
room.
2.
He just walks in and he goes, "Hey, bro, so hashtag interesting stat."
I was doing some research.
Yeah. So there's only one guy.
I've been doing research on only Steelers players.
On only Big Ben. But all right, Josh Allen, he finished as QB 6. I know we said it joking around a couple times, but he's kind of like the white Cam Newton almost. Maybe he's not the greatest prolific passer, but he's a guy who can make things happen with his legs. 9 touchdowns 1 year, 8 the second year. I'm gonna say repeat right here. I think this is a good baseline right here. I think he's a pretty safe guy where he can just kind of get it done. Obviously, with the addition of Diggs, you would like to think that it can only get better in year 3 for Josh Allen.
Yeah, I would have to say I'm gonna say repeat flat. I think he'll quarterback 6. I like it. It's just the rushing upside, dude. You can't deny it. It's insane.
Yeah, and at least you saw progression last year too. Like it wasn't like it was like he was doing the same thing through the air. It's like I'm talking close to my mic, so it's got to be fucked up.
When you turn,
yeah, but I'm still going right here.
Yeah, but it's not registering it. I'm just letting you know.
We can check it after
for sure.
But anyways, yeah, like you saw progression, and then you only add a weapon in Stephon Diggs, so it's like. It wouldn't surprise me to see a little bit more progression from him.
Yeah.
QBs do grow, players do grow as time goes on. So, I'd say repeat flat.
I mean, it's like even if you were to say deplete, I don't think he finishes outside of the top 10. So I think you'd be happy with what you get when you're drafting a Josh Allen. I mean, they've got some pretty good weapons here. I mean, they went out and drafted Zach Moss. You got Singletary, but that's kind of just like the Frank Gore Singletary combo now. I mean, you go out and spend a first-round pick to get a guy like Stephon Diggs. I mean, obviously you want to help out your franchise quarterback. You know, and like you said, the rushing upside is also nice as well. So I mean, yeah, but like, do you think is there a possibility that he falls out of the top 10, or is that like I feel like 10 is his floor?
He's too safe with his rushing upside. It'd be hard.
Yeah.
I mean, versus you get into the Brady, the Ryan, the Stafford. Those guys don't really rush, so
Yeah.
I mean, they could easily fall out. Like, but not easily, but there's potential for them to fall out.
I mean, yeah, 8+ touchdowns back-to-back years. So you know he's one of those guys where I feel like he doesn't try to force it. If he sees a lane, he's an athletic guy. Like I said, White Cam Newton.
He's gonna run for at least 5.
And he'll try to rush and get it in. I know there was some crazy stats that Andre had when he came on. We were doing the rankings. He said like from year 1 to year 2, pretty much like the attempts and everything was the same, but like the percentage, the yardage, like the touchdown, everything went up. You know, with the same sample size from the rookie years there. So he just got better, yeah. So I'm just going to say year 3, you know, he keeps that trend going. What do you think, Mike? Same thing? You said repeat?
Yeah, I said repeat flat. QB 6, I think that's definitely possible.
I think
for
he's going
Josh
to be all right,
Allen.
except for when he plays the Dolphins. I hope he has shitty games.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me if he's like QB 4, to be honest. I mean, you got
I could see it
guys
going.
like Kyler Morgan who ahead of him who could easily Baker it to some extent, you know, and be lower like 9. You got I think our consensus might have had, you know, Russell Wilson ahead of him or Drew Brees, but it wouldn't surprise me if he passed some of these guys, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, well, Deshaun was QB4, and he had, I think it was like 4,100 yards and 26 touchdowns with like 5 rushing touchdowns. So if he could get 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, and then add another 5 to 6 on the ground, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Even if he gets to 3,600 and that goes 8-9, that's basically the same as throwing for 41.
Yeah. I would jump into the next guy right here.
All right, we got Phillip Rivers. Hold on, where do you guys think he's at?
Rios?
Yeah, Felipe.
Well, I have it right here. He's ranked 18th.
Okay. Very
Phillip
good.
Rivers finished as QB 18 last year, 4,600 yards, 23 touchdowns. He had 20 interceptions, though. That's crazy. I didn't realize they were that high. He's up there in that Baker Mayfield range. 0 rushing upside. He only had 12 attempts. I think, what is the crazy stat? Like, I think he has like no rushing touchdowns, or
I think I've heard that.
it's like something stupid where like you see all these quarterbacks, they'll get to like, even Brady, he does all the time. They'll get the 1 yard line, they'll do QB sneaks, but like Phillip Rivers, he just doesn't do QB sneaks ever.
It's not his thing. He don't like
He's
it.
like, hey, I got too many kids. I can't be rushing like that.
So yeah, this is an intriguing one right here because he goes from the Chargers, you know, what is it, 18, 19 years of the Chargers, goes to the Colts. I mean, last year he threw the ball 591 times. I'm not sure if they're going to need him to throw the ball 591 times. Let's see, what Jacoby Brissett threw the ball 447 times last year as a starter.
But he rushes,
for the Colts.
so that's,
And he-
that's
yeah.
skewed because that
Well,
would be passing attempts for a normal quarterback like Rivers.
Only 46 attempts for Brissett compared to 12 for things. So not a crazy amount of rushing attempts for Brissett. But one thing I say is I'm pretty hyped on the Colts defense this year going forward. I know they were kind of one of those teams where you could stream last year, but they go out, they get Xavier Rhodes. I know he's not the same that 1 year he was in Minnesota, but he's on a 1 year prove-it deal, so the guy's going to have to go out there and perform if he wants to. You know, they got Malik Hooker, who was a pretty good safety. You know, he's hurt for most of the year. They got Darius Leonard, who's the all-pro middle linebacker. They also got another good defensive player. They traded for DeForest Buckner from the, I think that's right, when DeForest Buckner from the Niners, and they also drafted or got another good D tackle. So I think that defense is going to be really good. You have a good offensive line. You go out and draft Jonathan Taylor. I don't think that Phillip Rivers is going to have to throw the ball a ton. So I'll say 18. I'll say Deplete.
Yeah, just to your point real quick, the Colts were the sixth highest rushing team in the NFL last year, and they only added another big back to back. So, yeah, I'm gonna go Deplete.
Yeah, I would say just Deplete just because there's a lot of unknowns with Phillip Rivers going into a whole different team. He's played on one team's whole life, you know.
Yeah.
There's too many variables for me to think. I know it's not that hard to go up on 18, but I think he will not be able to do it. Which now I'm thinking about my value on T.Y. Hilton after saying that.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's a valid
Well,
observation.
the thing too is when we valued T.Y. Hilton, that was before they went out and drafted Michael Pittman Jr. So that obviously is going to affect too.
Yeah,
and
especially
Jonathan Taylor.
and Jonathan Taylor as well. Yeah. So I think they're going to lean on Rivers to be that veteran guy who, if they need a play, like he can move the chains or he can go out and lead a touchdown. But like they're not going to be like, hey, bro, we need you to put up 40 points a game for us. Like we just want to play defense. We want to run the ball. Be like Alex Smith. Like just game manage it. If we need you to make a play, you're a veteran. You can make a play for us. But like I said, no rushing upside. They just want to ground and pound and play some defense.
ground and pound.
Sounds horny.
Want to move on to the next one?
Let's do it.
Let's get it.
Let's. Oh my god.
Dude.
Okay, this one. Oh,
Josh Allen, QB2.
whoops. No. It's because sorry, it's hard to explain. All right. This is one we posted about today. Quarterback 2, Dak Prescott. Pretty interesting. Like that's one of those things where you don't realize it's like that he did that well.
Yeah.
He just threw a lot of interceptions.
I mean, I had him 2 leagues, so I did.
Oh,
I was like, oh.
Not really a lot of
wow.
interceptions. Only threw in 11 interceptions. He threw the ball 596 times for 4,900 yards. So that's actually impressive. I didn't know it was that much. 30 touchdowns, only 11 interceptions. One thing with Dak is he does offer the rushing upside. I know for the first 3 years it was like 6 rushing touchdowns, 6, and then last year only 3. So he obviously can get it done on the with his legs. 2's kind of high. I mean, what do you think, Anthony?
I got him ranked at 2.
2. So
I'm not faltering.
really? I'm gonna say deplete. Repeat or deplete? I'm gonna go deplete, baby.
He's actually one of the quarterbacks that is like, it's like whether you believe in 2 or not, he has QB1 in his upside.
Yeah.
My thing is that it's just really high. If I think he can finish top 5 for sure again, but to finish, that's why I'm saying deplete. I still think he could finish fucking 3 or 4 or 5. I don't know. Two's just up there. You know,
If you see that touchdown percentage, like I said, it's a number I've looked at for years. I started looking a year ago. He hasn't had a spike. It's been pretty much 4.9, which 5. It's like been within like 2%. If he hits a spike of 5.4, 5.5, and they throw the ball about roughly what they did, which I kind of expect them to be pass heavy again. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if him finished QB1. And like Tyler said, you've seen the rushing touchdowns of 3 to 6. You get 5 rushing touchdowns to add in there, and he goes for, let's just say he runs for 5 and throws for 35. There's a good chance he's a QB2.
Yeah.
If not or QB3 at least. With those numbers, just those touchdowns alone, that's 40 total touchdowns.
Yeah, this one's tough because I feel like we did the post last year. Is Dak a top 10 quarterback? And I feel like we just got scolded for it. Like people were just like heckling it, like, "Oh, Dak's terrible. He's garbage. He's trash." And we were trying to like defend him. That dude, he could be a top 10 quarterback. And we thought he was going to be a top 10 quarterback. I didn't think he was going to be QB2, but I thought he could be a top 10 quarterback. But it just shows you that he has the ability to get it done. And then it only helps that you go out and you get a guy like CeeDee Lamb, who is arguably the number 1 wide receiver in the draft. So, I mean, it's just tough because you got Mahomes, who you want to assume, is going to, if with a full 16 games, could be the quarterback 1. And then Lamar Jackson coming off an MVP year. He's obviously those are going to be the 1A, 1B quarterbacks who get drafted off the board. So it's going to be hard for Dak to repeat that. But I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility because, I mean, the guy's got to get paid too. So if he wants to get paid, he's going to have to go out there and put up QB2 numbers again. If he wants to get that, $40 million he's looking for or something stupid and crazy like that. So, I mean, he's definitely got the weapons with Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. I mean, we saw the emergence of Michael Gallup. Still a good offensive line. That Kellen Moore offensive scheme is pretty good too. You always hear me say it's that Boise State offense. So, and those guys are putting up like 50+ points every single game. So I'm gonna say deplete, but not by much. But I mean, he's right there. I don't think he gets out of the top 5.
Yeah,
I'll take him at 2 in drafts. But the thing is about drafts, what I like, I'm high on him, which I'm gonna like at draft season because he's not gonna go at 2.
You would take him above Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes?
No, not Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes 1.
And then you go,
It's crazy. We do a keeper league. Me and Anthony, the longest league that I think we've been doing with all of our buddies from high school and stuff like that. We do a keeper league. So basically, if you draft a player and you keep him the whole year, you have to draft the player. You can't trade for him or pick him up on waiver wire. You have to draft the player, and you have to keep him the entire year. But then next year, you get to keep that player in the round that you drafted him at. I want to say Anthony's pretty good at this. Would you get Dak in, like the 12th round or something?
Like 11, 12.
And that's going to be like if you're going to get a top, let's just say top 5 at least, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get a top 5 quarterback in the 12th round. And in that league, that's a heavy quarterback league where you actually get 6 points per passing, and you get 5 points every 100 yards. So those quarterbacks put up like 40+ points. If they have a crazy good game.
You draft him his rookie year?
No, this is talking about last year. You get to keep each player the year prior.
Oh, okay. You can't keep him year after year.
No, only 1 year. Yeah.
No, it's like one of those. It's just one.
But
year.
it's going to be a steal for him because
yeah.
How many 12th round picks really pan out,
bro? That's crazy.
I mean, I realistically don't have to worry about a quarterback.
Yeah.
Do you have any felonies? Because that's a fucking steal right there, baby.
I was trying to think of a Cowboy comeback, but I couldn't think of it because I knew he was making a joke, but I was like, all right. I was thinking something Cowboys. All right. I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit for throwing him at 2, but hey, we'll see what happens.
But you can't say it's unrealistic because he's done it.
I'm not even I'm pretty confident.
But is it? Hey, we talk. But here's the thing, though. We talk about all the time is that the number 1 quarterback doesn't ever repeat it. So you're saying that he's number 2, he's gonna repeat to number 2.
We gotta look that up.
I mean, maybe he goes to number 1.
He said in that past like 10
maybe he
years.
goes number 1.
He is number 1. All right, let's go on to the next one. We got Carson Wentz, and no, he's not quarterback 2. If you're watching on YouTube, let me adjust that fast right here.
So right? Carson Wentz, he came in at quarterback 10.
Oh, that's a tough one.
When we first did our initial rankings, I was pretty low on Wentz. I didn't even have him in my top 12. I don't think I even had him in my top 12, actually. I think he was one of my honorable mention guys. But the more we did it, and it's like, sometimes, doing this podcast, I feel like with you guys, it's like, we all have our own perspective on things. But sometimes it's like, okay, maybe you'll think of something or say something that I wasn't thinking or thought about. And it's like, oh, yeah, that does kind of make sense. So, but just like the more we did that episode, I was kind of moving him up more and more and more. And I know maybe some of these guys they drafted aren't, blockbuster names. I know Rager, I'm not the biggest on him, but I mean, that's their guy, obviously, and they're going to utilize him. But the more and more that we went over Wentz, the more I kind of like fell in love with him and what he was able to do last year with, I guess, like a JV squad. Now obviously hopefully he'll have a year with like all of his weapons. A full year of Miles Sanders too as well. So what do you guys think with this one?
I think I'm gonna go. I moved him up from 12 to 11. What made me move him up is I was actually watching a film on Rager, and I'm actually kind of more opposite opinion than you. Dre doesn't like him either, right?
Dre doesn't like him really.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a guy I was watching a Oklahoma State game who could make contested catches.
Yeah.
He's quick on his cuts. He's really fast. I noticed he's more explosive than his 40 was.
Yeah.
I was watching him versus the other receivers, and he's getting down the field faster than a lot of these other guys in the field. So he's still a rookie, but I think I'm a little bit more optimistic on Rager than you guys are. Like I said early, I just barely started watching film on him. I only watch rookie film, I'll be honest, on players I think are going to be relevant. That's why I don't watch pre-draft stuff. I'm not going to look at guys. That's more dynasty stuff.
Yeah.
So, but watching film on Rager is, I think he has the potential to be, potentially their number 1. I saw some stuff I like out of him. Some nice contested catch balls.
Yeah.
Like just jumping
He
over.
plays bigger than his size. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because he's not the biggest guy, but yeah, he does play bigger.
Yeah, and I mean, he had
is.
he had a fucking terrible quarterback last year.
Yeah.
And, he was basically all there was in that offense. So, like I said, early on, I'm probably higher than you guys for Rager, so that's why I moved him up a spot. So, I still got some film watching to do on him. And, the added weapons can't hurt. Deshaun Jackson
Not
back.
at all.
If you get a healthy Alshon, you get Goddard still growing in his 3rd year. You get Miles Sanders out of the backfield for a full season. So, there's a lot to like with Carson Wentz if he could stay upright for 16 games. If he stays upright for 16, good chance he actually beats that.
Yeah.
Decent chance he actually beats that.
Yeah. I'll say repeat plus. I think he, at least 10. I think, he threw for 4,000 yards last year, 27 touchdowns with 7 interceptions. And like I said, that was playing with a JV squad basically. And if you can get all those weapons that Anthony just said, and you can keep him healthy for a full 16 games. I know the whole Jalen Hurts thing, that's kind of what my first initial reaction was like, you didn't draft him just to have him sit on the bench. I think Jalen Hurts is a talented football player, and, he's a Lamar Jackson 2.0 in my eyes. I think, if Wentz does go down, I think you can go grab Jalen Hurts, and he's going to be a fantasy stud. But yeah, I'll go repeat plus because I think, 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, I think he could do that again, especially with the revamped offense they have in Philadelphia.
So where have you moved? Have you moved him up in your rankings officially, or you got?
Not yet, but I'm just thinking if he finished 10, I'm just looking at the numbers right here. 10, with like I said, with the JV squad, and honestly, I mean, looking right here, the points difference from 10 to 6 is only 13 points.
Yes.
So it's like if he throws 2 more touchdowns, he's QB 7 basically, QB 6 actually. Sorry.
Yeah, it's always like that. I've like numbers where it's like anywhere from QB like 7 to like 20, or it's only within like 30 points or something stupid like that, where it's not that big of a.
Well, one thing I know too is we were pretty hyped on Wentz last year coming into the draft season. I know, I had him in a couple leagues. I know you probably had him in a couple leagues. We do a league together, me and Anthony. I know we had him. And he, like I said, even with the JV squad, he was still putting up some decent games. Some games were bad, but I mean, it's kind of understandable when you really don't have. You're thrown to 3rd, 4th stringers and guys who are practice squad guys. So.
Guys who can't even catch babies.
Yeah, guys who can't even catch babies. Yeah. So yeah, I like it. Repeat plus.
I'm saying deplete.
Ooh.
Just the injury. I don't know. Like he just seems to not be able to stay healthy, and so I honestly would rather just put those lower in my rankings, so I just avoid them all in all. So I'm just gonna go with deplete for that reason.
There's some people who play like that. It's like when people get injured, because this is a game for us. Like some people just don't like the injury risk.
Yeah.
Where it's called risk adverse. Is that how you say it, right? Where it's like like you said, I'd rather take someone like Matt Ryan, who I know is going to play 16 games, than someone like Carson Wentz, who maybe he does play better, but like I don't want the chance of him getting hurt. And that's how some fantasy players are. So.
No, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I just you got to calculate all the risk and calculated. The number's not looking too great for Carson. All right, let's talk about my boy right here. We got Kyler Murray.
Yeah, that's not Big Ben, dude.
Dude.
Well, he's like Big Ben too. You know what I'm saying?
He's the new Big Ben.
He's like,
if Big Ben retires,
he's not Big Ben 1.0. He's Big Ben 0.5 because he's half of the size of Big Ben.
If Big Ben retires and the Cardinals are like,
did I say it? Kyler Murray? That's what we were talking about. Quarterback 8 in 2019. I don't know if I said his name or not. But yeah, QB 8 in 2019. Sorry, go ahead.
Good. I was gonna say Big Ben retires and the Cardinals are like that stud team. Are you gonna be? Let's just say next year he retires and they're not that good for a while. Are you gonna be like rooting more for the Cardinals?
No.
Or would you be Steelers first still?
I'm still Steelers first. It's just like I definitely just when I'm watching other teams, it's like I look at the Cardinals as like my little nephew or like my cousin or some shit.
Your cousin?
He's my cousin.
Your cousin?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I look at it. I look at that team like a little bit differently.
Yeah. Like you wouldn't necessarily be like super like rooting for them, but if they made the playoffs, you'd be like, all right, I'm going for the Cardinals.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, cool. Just curious. I just wonder where you stood with that because you're from like a state like where you had a team.
Yeah.
For us, we're from Vegas, so it's like we never had like a team, and then we moved like.
Well, right.
Yeah, like where we lived, but we were like we were always Dolphins fans, but we lived in Minnesota, so we were low key like rooting for Minnesota.
Yeah.
The secondary.
It's like you guys. We don't really watch hockey, but it's like you would still want the Golden Knights to do well because they're here.
Like we'll root for. I'm gonna root for the Raiders, but they're never gonna leap the Dolphins. I don't care. I've already been at the bottom of the bottom for the Dolphins, so it can never.
Oh, you're saying?
I thought you meant like win record.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I think we kind of have a couple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, I feel that.
Yeah, same here.
One thing I can say though, just kind of sidetracking, but like the number 1 jersey sales right now are Tua. He's number 1. Then Brady's number 2. And
Tua is number 1.
And
also.
then the third highest selling jersey is Tua. The number 1 is like the home one, and number 3 is the away one. So I'm just curious, like, are all these people just gonna start being like Dolphin? Because he's the highest selling jersey. He's number 1 and number 3. So are people gonna be like bandwagon Dolphin fans now? I don't understand.
I'm giving him one of these.
Just remember, bro, we were always there, Dolphin fans.
You ain't been a day one.
Remember, dude, 2022, dog, when they win that shit. Remember.
Are you guys really getting jealous of people hopping on the Tua bandwagon?
Well, there's like I'll take any fan. I'm like, no, you don't have to go through the fucking misery, okay,
yeah,
motherfucker.
Get 52 to 0 from the Ravens.
Put it this way.
0-16 or just we went 1-15.
I will accept you as a fan if you can name 5 quarterbacks in the last 20 years. And we probably had 40. So if you can't do that, then fuck you.
And you can't use Fitzpatrick or Tannehill.
Yeah. I'll give you Tannehill. How about that? So you got one.
I won't.
Are you guys asking me? No,
I'm saying if someone's like,
Okay.
yeah, I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm like, oh yeah? Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Are you?
Come on, take a seat.
We were talking about is
Sit down real
when
quick.
you're at the bar and some girl's like, "Oh yeah, I like the Patriots." You're like, "Oh God, I
God,
don't
I'm
like
gonna
you.
choke the shit out
I
of
don't
you."
like you anymore."
Or they're a Niners fan because of Jimmy Garoppolo. He's so cute. Oh my God, I'm a Niners
Who's
fan.
this Dak guy? He keeps DMing me. Wasn't that your friend at work?
No, this one chick I hooked up with, she actually asked me one day.
She's like, "Who?"
She's like, do you know this football player, Dak Prescott? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah, he keeps DMing me. Like, he's trying to slide in my DMs. I was like, Dak Prescott's trying to smash? You need to go get that right now. Like, you need to go smash that right now.
But after he smashes, tell him to shout out the podcast.
Yeah. All right, this has gone on way too long.
Okay, yeah, let's go. Kyler Murray, QB8, repeat or deplete? I'm gonna say repeat plus.
Yeah, I mean, repeat. I'll be taking him ahead of 8, so. And I got him ranked ahead of 8, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say repeat plus as well.
I put like all these guys in the same categories, like Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson. They all kind of, just because they have that rushing upside, they're, you get a solid floor from them, and so yeah, I enjoy having those on my team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, his floor is probably QB.
Hold on, be right back.
8 to 10. I mean, just based off the rushing, you've seen him already throw for 3,800 yards, something like that.
3,700 yards, yeah.
You got to assume that number goes up. I don't know if I'm as optimistic on the touchdowns going up to like 30, 35 as maybe some people. I'm kind of seeing more of a small progression, but nonetheless, repeat plus.
For sure, yeah. I mean, 3,700 yards, 20 touchdowns through 12 picks. But it's rookie year, so you got to think that those numbers could get better. 544 rushing yards, so you like seeing that with 4 touchdowns. The rushing upside is so nice. That's kind of like the new age, and especially for fantasy. You want to get these guys who can run the ball. I mean, and then the addition of DeAndre Hopkins only helps. They go out and draft Josh Jones out of Houston, the senior lineman, offensive tackle. So help boost the line for them there. I think, having Drake as well. I mean, Drake's a guy, like I said, you could throw him a little screen pass and he could take it 60, 70 yards to the house. So I think this is going to be one of the most exciting offenses in the entire NFL. And if you can get that quarterback on your team, yeah, I want as many shares as I can with that guy. So yeah, I'll go repeat plus right here for Kyler Murray. And what you like seeing too is, he kind of has like a little Mahomes-esque in him, and where he, a former baseball player, where he can make these weird throws. Like, he doesn't have to be, feet planted in the pocket. Like, he can be on the run and he can throw it, crazy sidearm pass, 30 yards down the field. And when you got a guy like DeAndre Hopkins and Larry the Legend catching passes from you, I think that only helps.
Like restoration.
Did we all go repeat?
Yeah,
Repeat
I think we
plus.
all said repeat.
Jury in.
Plus. Okay, let's go on to, kind of a weird one. But we got
The
the
mustache.
one, the only. This is actually the last one right here.
Save the best for last, dude. Jockstrap.
Jockstrap is here, dude. Gardner Minshew for the Jacksonville Jaguars was such a surprise to us all last year. We were analyzing Jaguars receivers based on the fact that Nick Foles was going to be the quarterback. Little did we know he was going to get hurt in fucking week 1. So Gardner Minshew took over. Actually finished QB 19, which is pretty good for someone who he was undrafted. He was undrafted free
like a
agent.
6th round.
Yeah, something crazy.
5th later or undrafted.
I mean, so you
way.
got people drafting Baker Mayfield, who finished behind Gardner Minshew, drafting him way ahead. So, if you went and picked up Gardner Minshew, it's not a bad add to your team. That's another reason why we kind of like subscribe to the idea of not drafting quarterbacks super, super high. Not totally against it, but we just, when people ask us for advice, we always kind of suggest to not do that. Because things like this happen. You can go and pick up fucking the QB 19 off the waiver wire. But repeat or deplete from 2019.
I'm going to
in
repeat
2020.
Plus.
You love Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, I was watching or listening to some stuff, and then I was actually doing my own research on him. Only started in 12 games last year, 3,200 yards, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Half the reason I'm going plus is in those 12 games started 344 rushing yards. So I didn't pace it out and stuff like that, but you're looking at about someone who's going to run for 400 to 500 rushing yards. If he gets to 500, I mean, that alone is going to get him probably above QB 19. Just the rushing yards and the passing yards. We're not even talking touchdowns yet and all that other stuff. I don't think the Jaguars are going to be a good team. They added another weapon for him in Chenault, right?
Laviska
Shenault. Chris Thompson is a way more explosive than pass catcher than Leonard Fournette is. So that's only going to help him as well, too. Year 2 for him in the system. He's got the starting job on lock. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm going to say those numbers of 4,000 passing yards. Ryan Tannehill, we were talking about Carson Wentz. Those guys are in the 4,000 range. If he hits that, you couple in that 500 rushing yards, there's some upside in there.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that I probably will have on every single team. Just based off of the rushing stats alone and the rushing up and the passing yards, I'm probably going to have him on every team.
This is such an unexpected stroke for me. Yeah. You're just stroking him. Do you love Gardner Minshew more than Gardner Minshew loves football?
I think it's because of the mustache.
No, for real though. I mean, yeah, I couldn't. I'm probably, I'd say repeat, but go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, like Anthony just said, 344 rushing yards. Actually, had 0 rushing touchdowns. With that many rushing yards, you would think he'd at least have 1, but 0 rushing touchdowns is kind of crazy. But I mean, one thing that I could say is, this is not the Saxonville Jaguars anymore. This defense is completely remade. I mean, you lose guys like Calais Campbell, Deontay Fowler. I mean, there's no more Jalen Ramsey, no more Bouye. You had Tajay Gibson in the safety. This whole defense is way, way different right now.
Their DN's holding out too, I think, right?
Yeah, their DN. They're
only
he's Yannick and Goke or something.
Yeah.
I can't really pronounce it.
Yeah,
he's holding out. He doesn't want to be there because he wants to get paid. He's not going to be there, most likely. But one thing I say, this defense isn't going to be very good, but I think this offense is going to have a lot of swagger to it. I mean, you got guys like DJ Chark, you got D.D. Westbrook, my favorite word, Biletnikoff, former Biletnikoff winner. Chris Conley, still a decent receiver. They go out and draft Laviska Shenault. And they add Tyler Eifert, who's maybe not the same, but a red zone weapon for Minshew. One thing I like seeing right here with Minshew was the turnover to, the touchdown to interception ratio, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. As a rookie, I think that's pretty impressive. I mean, you see guys who like Kyler, who was the number 1 overall pick, and he threw for 12 picks, and even Baker Mayfield, number 1 pick last year or 2 years ago, 14 picks. So you like seeing that. A guy, he's not really turning the ball over. He's smart with it, and a ton of weapons. So, yeah, I like this. I'll say repeat plus. Does he sneak in the top 15? I don't know, but, he'll be one of those guys where, like I said, get 2 quarterbacks, and I think, he could be a fun guy to have on your team.
Yeah, just to show you, I told you, I want to do I'll probably need help with the, what's it called, the Photoshop on this, but I'm going to show last year's adjusted passing yards to rushing yards, just to show if, he would have paced for 500 rushing yards in 16 games. I'm pretty sure if I paced it out at 350, he would have been close to that. Yeah. If you take 500 and 3,700, which he actually, I think, was paced for more than 3,700 passing yards. You just take that alone, that's a combined adjusted 4950 passing yards. Now you got guys like Matt Ryan, Stafford, some of these other guys, they're not running the ball at all. So if you're adjusting him like that, he's a rushing quarterback. And I think that's why I like the upside so much. I said I'm adjusting my passing yards right now just off 3,700, put the 500. I mean, the touchdowns, if you get 25 and he does that, he's probably a QB top 15 for sure.
You got to think he gets a couple in the end zone finally, too. I mean, I was kind of surprised to see he didn't even have 1 rushing touchdown.
Yeah. I will probably have 90 shares of Gardner Minshew. Just saying.
Guy's got swagger. I mean, like I would say, I think this Jaguars offense is going to be exciting to watch. Will they be a good football team? I don't know, because the defense is going to be sketchy. But I think that'll just make the offense, they need to keep pace. They're going to be constantly chasing. So we could see Minshew throw the ball 550 times this year.
I like it. I like it as that double. He's definitely someone people will sleep on. And you can
I wonder what his
ADP
on. Is. It's probably around QB 19.
I'll look it up.
I feel like it is.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go on record and say it is.
I mean, you got to think that for them to ship off Nick Foles after paying him all this money and then not really addressing a quarterback in free agency, I don't know if they drafted a backup or not. I could be wrong.
Not high, at least.
But, yeah, no one that's
his quarterback rank is 17. Overall consensus 191 ADP. So what's that divided by 12?
That's way down there.
That's way down there.
Like 15th round or something like that. I don't even know.
Let's see, 191 divided by 12. Easy.
But I mean, 15. they didn't address
the last round.
Yeah, they didn't address anybody. So I mean, they're pretty confident in they did the exact opposite for what Rodgers had.
Rodgers
They were
had.
like, hey, let's go get you a weapon. Like let's help you. Like let's not draft a guy who's going to be competing for your job right here.
Yeah, play to their strengths, dude, or play to their weaknesses. I guess. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Dude, I'm single-handedly going to raise Gardner Minshew's ADP this offseason.
Well, it's funny because he's ranked as QB 17, and then he's getting drafted literally like in the last round. He'd probably go undrafted in some leagues.
Oh, some leagues for sure.
Yeah, so yeah, that's almost like a little sneaky sleeper throw in there real quick. Gardner Minshew. So that's the last one for a quarterback repeat or deplete. We just threw like I think 13 of those in there. But yeah, is there anything else you guys want to touch on before we wrap up this episode?
No, I'm just laughing because it's like I'm looking at 8 fantasy football calculators. So you have Jameis Winston going ahead of Gardner Minshew.
It's crazy.
He's like a backup.
Yeah.
These ADPs I feel like are.
I'm just laughing because it's so early.
Yeah.
It really is. It is funny though when you look at it. Like I'm telling you, like it says that I looked it up because we were talking about earlier. It says that Josh Allen's ADP I think was in the 7th round. But when I was drafting yesterday, he went in the simulator, which didn't make any sense. Went in like the 4th round.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean to touch on this point, I forget what it was. It was like something like only 4. I mean, I guess we should like repost what I'm saying if we're gonna clip this and put it up. Some was like 3 or 4 quarterbacks that were drafted in the top 12 only finished in the top 12
last year.
Yeah, it's a really low number. I know that for sure. So there's a lot of variance year after year to from quarterback finishes. That's why Mike always is like, I don't like taking quarterbacks. I like going late is because reasons like that. You do see.
It's like you give me a bet. I could get a Ben Roethlisberger and a fucking Gardner Minshew in the last like 2 rounds. Fucking
like if everything I
sold.
just said on Gardner Minshew, like I granted it might not be right, but let's just say it happens. Let's just say he throws for 4,000 rushes, 530 combined touchdowns. I mean, that's a guy you're getting probably undrafted, who has the upside of like a top, like I said, ceiling, like best case scenario of a top 7, 8.
Yeah.
You're matching him with maybe like someone like Matt Ryan, or you go someone like Daniel Jones too, and you're just playing like the back these two upside quarterbacks. One of them hits and breaks out. Now you kind of have like a stud, and I kind of like quarterbacks at one position where I might even sometimes in a deeper bench league grab 3 quarterbacks that first week, because it's like, what's the point of me having like the wide receiver 3? And like so on one of these teams, or unless I do draft a lot of rookies and like certain players to see upside, but like if I have a 7-man bench, I might take, if I don't get one of those top 8 guys and my first pick is like Matt Stafford, I might triple it up with like a Gardner Minshew and Daniel Jones the first week, see what I have, maybe they both break out, or maybe one of them breaks out, or like a Drew Lock. Maybe one of these guys hits, and it's like, okay, now I have Matt Ryan and I have fucking another stud.
Yeah.
So I kind of like I'm probably gonna adapt that strategy pretty heavily this year.
You can always move one of those guys as well.
Yeah.
Live,
Trade
adapt.
quarterback.
Tyler will move him for sure.
Live, adapt, conquer.
Equity, bro. That draft equity.
Yeah, bro. You started buying stocks during this quarantine thing, and it's like it's a natural thing for you. You're just fucking out here trading.
Bro.
Day trading. What do you need? I always think it's so funny because Tyler will literally be trading players he doesn't have on his team yet. It's fucking one of the funniest things ever.
But it when I get him.
He'll be like, all right, okay, what will you give me for DJ Chark, though? He's like, wait, but Anthony has DJ Chark. He's like, well, yeah, but I'm going to get him, though.
It's in the works.
I make very little trades, to be honest. I might do one a season out of all my leagues combined.
We definitely should have like a trade episode where we
really-
just kind of talk about the strategy of a trade and
you
kind of
should-
like with the ins and outs of a trade.
You
I think
should
that
have
would
a
be
master
good
class. Like
episode.
those master classes
Yeah.
that they have for like poker players and all these different things. You should I'm Tyler Ravelis, and I'll be your instructor
Your
for
trade advisor.
trades,
Trade
fantasy
advisor.
football.
I'm your trade consigliere.
I mean, I think that's a point to bring up too for some people is like, if you're like me and you don't make a lot of trades, like I said, I might make 1 or 2 for all 4 or 5 leagues I'm in. Don't draft a trade.
Yeah.
I think that's something I've done where it's like, oh, I could fucking like I regret taking, even though I had 3 running backs, I still took Sony Michel, which ended up being wrong on that one. But I took it because I was like, oh, I could have 4 starting running backs in trade. I did trade him for John Brown, so point to me. But I
kinda
don't
worked,
normally
but-
trade. Like I got lucky to trade him for John Brown because it's like
But you
The guy was like, sure. He was like, accept.
accept. Right now.
well, it's
Hey, the league, no one vetoed. Go push it through.
it's one of those things where you it's in your head you're like, okay, yeah, I'll draft this guy and trade him, but when you have him on your team and you can't get the trade done for exactly what you want, then you're gonna have a guy on your bench that you're gonna feel obligated to throw in your fucking lineup during the week, and it's gonna frustrate you if it's a guy you didn't want in the first place. You only got him so you could trade him. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, not even your lineup. You're just gonna be like, dude, I want this guy off my fucking bench. It's like you just start getting like almost like desperate to trade him because you're just like, all right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll hold a guy because like his value is more than the waiver wire, but like you're thinking like, man, I wish I had that extra spot.
Yeah, or let's just say you're wrong on the guy too. There's that point of it too. You draft a trade and you're completely wrong on the guy. Now you just fucking took two swords to the head. It's double negative. So that's where it's like I kind of this year I'm doing 0 drafts to trade. It's like I'm taking the player, like I'm filling out my roster, doing what I need to. I'm not going to be like, oh, like first 3 rounds it might be different. I'm not going to draft a trade, but I could, I don't mind taking 3 running backs or 2 receivers or even fucking 3 receivers if it falls that way.
Yeah.
If I'm going to double flex, and I'll just shoot 5 running backs afterwards. But I'm kind of done with like drafting to trade because it's bit me in the ass more times than often.
I can understand.
But
that.
someone like Tyler who trades a lot, maybe he's a little better at that. But I just know I don't trade a lot, so I'm just like, why even do it? So yeah, if you're like me, don't do it, baby.
we should really have like a trade because Dre's pretty good at trading too.
Dre will rate people.
Dre, he gets these crazy trade rapes. It's unreal. But maybe we could do an episode where we just kind of like talk about our trade strategy. But that'll probably be more once we get to like in the actual season of things going.
Yeah.
Hopefully when we get into the season of everything.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm glad
digital
that
fans.
things are starting to open up and we are starting to.
Just picturing Josh Allen dropping back.
But I mean, dude, it's putting fake fans out there is literally like you're in a simulation. You're like, whoa, it's all fake, dude.
Yeah. It's like laser, like what is it, like a
Not a projector or anything,
okay.
but
It's
it's just
cardboard?
on TV. No, it's like on TV.
I'm picturing Josh Allen just fucking launching one of the cardboard cutouts, like the head's just.
Why Josh Allen?
Because
like Lobo Jim when he like gets his head's like
his
slinging.
head's like slinging.
Putting pizza in
God
his
damn it,
nuts.
Josh! Now we got to replace the fake fans.
No, they're talking about like CGI, like just so when you're watching at home.
When you're watching at home, okay.
Yeah.
I was picturing just like.
I know, right?
That's why I felt like it was very like simulation theory type of vibes.
Will they have the noise in the stadium for the players though, or is that just for us as listener?
I don't know. I think probably both. I would assume it'd be in the stadium for like the team. They would pump it into
Like they have
the
someone
speakers.
controlling it.
Yeah, like
Kind
an
of
AV.
fucked up though. I feel like that might give home teams more advantage because they'll just be like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. Well, there's some.
And then Tom Brady walks up to the line. He's like, quiet down. It's like cricket.
Well, it's like the Seahawks. Don't they say their stadium is designed like it's fucked up because the way their stadium is designed, they get extra sound. It like amplifies. It echoes off of bounces. Weird.
Yeah.
They like designed the stadium.
It's called strategy, dude.
It's called strategery.
And they
dude.
probably have it like
It's like
some.
the Dolphins, bro. They have their opposing team sit in the sun baking. It's called strategy.
Hey, do you guys
It's
think?
literally like that. You look across.
That's the
you're in
home field advantage.
You're in the shade, like chilling. Oh, it feels so nice out. They're over there, like, somebody get me out of here.
Do you think that? Do you think that fucking what's it called? Minshew's mom is like a florist.
There you
She's
go.
probably hot.
Because that's what I would assume if you name your kid Gardner.
Yeah.
All right, that was a reach. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't
I was
mean to
like,
do
where you
that.
going with this?
I didn't mean to do that. All right, I'm sorry. We're gonna end it on that one.
Yeah, dude. End it on a high note.
Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, we appreciate you. Go ahead, subscribe, like this video, like this episode of the podcast. If you're on the Apple Podcast app, leave us a review, give us 5 stars. Any type of audio podcast you're on, go ahead and give us a rating. It helps us out tremendously. Subscribe. We got one during the middle of the podcast. So in the live stream. Yeah. So appreciate that. Little extra carrot right there. It's kind of an inside joke. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. Anything else I want to talk about? Yeah. Just follow us on everything. Hit us up if you have any advice if you need any advice. I know rookie drafts are still going on right now. For a Dynasty League, so if you want to DM us, probably Dre will end up getting back to you because he's kind of our Dynasty expert and give you advice on that. So if you need any help, we got you. We are your personal fantasy football consigliaries. Okay, we're here for you. That's genuinely what we want to do.
Most podcasts don't even have cup holders.
We have shareholders.
That might be one of my favorite lines in the movie.
Thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate you, and we're out.